What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Eliana and today I'm going to be showing you guys my updated brow tutorial. First thing you're going to need is your foundation shade, a light concealer, you're going to need a small concealer brush, a blending brush, and of course you're going to need something to do your brows with. I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade dark brown. I'll get into the specifics of the other products that I showed a little later when I start using them. So now I'm taking the spoolie part of my brow pencil and I'm just going to begin brushing my hairs in my desired shape. As you guys can see, I don't really have a definite eyebrow shape, so I kind of got a freestyle. Then I'm taking my eyebrow pencil and I'm starting from the middle. In the middle is where I am going to begin drawing a very faint line and outlining the bottom part of my brow. Now, it is very important that you're light-handed at the front of your brow and you get more heavy-handed as you reach the tail of your brow. Your brows kind of have to have an ombre effect where they're light at the front and darker towards the tail, or else you're going to have some very boxy brows. And I'm sorry, but that's not cute. And you're basically just going to outline the natural shape of your brow. If you're someone who has a definite eyebrow shape, I'm pretty sure this is much easier for you, but I don't have like an exact shape. My tail kind of gets a little sporadic, so I have to freestyle a little bit, like I said. But yeah, you're just gonna outline what your brow shape is. You can overline it a little bit depending on if you like your brows to be a little bit thicker or not, but I would recommend just following like the natural shape of your brow. And as you can see, I'm filling it in here, and this is where I'm focusing most of the product. The front of my brow has little to no product, where the tail of my brow has most of the product. That's what you want. You want light to dark, not dark to dark, not dark to light. No, light to dark. And I'm just going to repeat the same steps to the other brow. Starting from the middle, I'm going to start outlining the natural shape of my brow, focusing majority of the product towards the back, not the back, the tail of my brow, and being very light-handed towards the front. So I know I said start in the middle, and you guys can see me drawing a line towards the front. That's just to help establish the shape a little bit more. This step is optional. You don't have to draw a line, but I like to do it because, like I said, I like my brows a little bit thick, and once I start outlining it, it just looks weird if the front doesn't have a slight outline. So I just like to do it, and to get rid of the harsh line I made, I take a spoolie and just start brushing the product into my brows so that it looks softer and more natural. So now we're going to begin outlining our brows, and to do this you're going to take, well, this is optional. You can either take your foundation shade and a light concealer shade, most likely the concealer shade that you use to brighten your face. I'm using I'm using the Beauty Bakery foundation in the shade 323W, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade medium beige, and I'm just taking these two and mixing it together so I have just the right shade to put under my brows. You do not want the color under your brow to be too bright because it's gonna look very unnatural. Like, you want it to be basically the same or very close to the color as it is naturally. So I know the concealer I'm putting on looks a little bit orange, but trust me, I'm gonna show you guys later, it's fine. So now, taking a small concealer brush, I'm just going to begin tracing my brow. You want to be very careful with this step because you can easily mess up your brow, and if you get concealer on the brow line, it's just gonna mess up like how crisp and clean your brows are. So you want to take your time, which is why I recommend using a small concealer brush, because it covers less area and it kind of forces you to just take your time and do it in baby steps. So yeah, I'm just tracing outside of my brow, and you want to go right beneath the brow and just begin tracing. That's all you're doing, just trace it. Don't think too much about it. Just do it. Now it's time to buff this out, and to do that I'm using the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. I love this brush and I always use it for my brows because it's nice and small, and like I said, small brushes just help with precision and it kind of forces you to take your time because it covers less area. But taking this brush, I'm just going to begin buffing out the harsh lines using dabbing motions. Please take your time with this step because if you buff the concealer into your brows, you might as well just start all over. Maybe not start all over, but it's really going to ruin your vibe and you're going to have to go over the line again, and trust me, it's just not going to be the same as when you first draw it on. You want to keep concealer away from your brows, so do it in very light dabbing motion, and just please take your time blending out the concealer and try not to get it in the brow line. That's really it. Just take your time, be patient, and trust the process. So now it's time to do the top. The top is optional because, as you guys can see, the brows still look clean even though I just did the bottom, but I like to do the top, especially when I'm going for full makeup looks, because it just makes the brow look even more defined, and I like that look sometimes. So I'm just taking my foundation shade, and same thing with the bottom, and just going to trace the shape of the brow. That's all you're doing, nothing more to it. Just trace the shape of your brow. Like I said, try not to get the concealer into the brow line because then it's just gonna mess up the shape and the crispness. Is crispness even a word? Oh nah, no way. And then you're also going to want to buff this out. I didn't mention it before, but the reason why you don't want to use any light concealer at the top is because your forehead is your regular skin tone. It doesn't have much of a highlight. The top of your brow is a little bit lighter, but it's not to the point where you need to emphasize that with makeup because then it's just going to look crazy. So it's better to just use your foundation shade. And once again, I'm just going to buff that out using the same exact brush and trying my very best not to get the concealer into the brow line. I'm just buffing it out, taking my time, and doing very light dabbing motions. And if the dabbing isn't work, I just do a very light stroke. As you guys can see, I'm not moving the brush too close to the brow line. You want to do it right above, and you want to be very, very precise. And now it's time for some touch-up. So the brows are looking really good, but I noticed that I made one brow longer than the other. I've been doing my brows for years, but I still make mistakes literally all the time. So it really just takes patience, practice, and dedication. So this is also an optional step, but I like to take my spoolie and just emphasize the brow hairs at the front of my brows. You don't have to do this, but I like doing this because I like the look of it. And look at those brows. They came out so neat. But this is what it looks like in ring lighting. I just wanted to show you guys that the concealer isn't too bright under my eyes. So this is ring lighting, and then this is natural light. What do you guys think? I hope you guys learned a thing or two from this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!